Hello Islanders! Today we are going to do the can crushing science experiment. What is the pressure like in the ocean? Now, the materials that you'll need today are a couple cans of soda, but you want them rinsed out and emptied out so nothing comes out, because we are actually going to be filling these with something in a minute. You will also need a large bowl of ice water. Now you will want a lot of ice in here. There's a lot of ice. And the reason is we want this very, very cold. We want it very different than the boiling water that we're going to use. We also need tongs, and this is to be able to handle the very hot pop cans. And lastly, you will need boiling water. Now, I have water in the microwave that I've put in there for probably 6 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, and I'm just doing it to where it's bubbling. Because again, we want really hot water and then really cold water. Now, how many of you like to swim? Do you like to dive? Have you ever noticed the feeling in your eardrums when you dive down into a pool? That's called water pressure. God designed water pressure, and the way that it works is the deeper you go into the water, the greater the pressure. Let's try something. Hold your hands up in the air and close your eyes. Imagine you're trying to hold up 50 jumbo jets. Now, here's the crazy thing. The water pressure is so off the charts high at the bottom of the ocean, it would be like a person trying to hold up those 50 jumbo jets. Of course, that's not possible, and no person could survive in the water at the bottom of the ocean, because God didn't design our bodies to be able to handle that much crushing pressure. Our bones would just snap. But what's cool is that He did design certain animals and plants to be able to survive down there. To them, the pressure is no biggie. The flapjack octopus is one of those. And what's even more amazing is God knows where every one of those animals is and what it's doing every second. He's even there with them. He is everywhere at the same time. He's not part of His creation, but He is with His creation. As we do this experiment, it's going to show the effects of crushing pressure. And we do that by crushing a can. Let's think about our incredible God and who knew how to create animals that could withstand incredible pressure. God. So what we're going to do is get our boiling water. Here's our boiling water. Again, you will want an adult to handle this for you. What I'm going to do is pour some into a can. Now the can will get very hot, so you want to make sure you're stabilizing the can with your tongs. And we're going to pour just about 2 to 3 tablespoons of boiling water into this can. You're going to want to swirl it around to get that can nice and hot. And you're going to want to create vapor in that can. Now, on the count of 3, we are going to flip this can over and just put about the top inch and a half under the ice water. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, it has crushed a little bit. Now, I will be honest, in science, sometimes it takes trial and error. And I have done this a lot over the last couple days. And not every time did it work because there are different variables. So that's why you have 3 cans in your kit. Or if you don't have a kit, that's why it's suggested that you have more than 1 can, so that you can try it different ways. Maybe put it under the water a little more, less under the water, colder water, hotter water, and try different variables. So it's crushing very little. All right, you can leave this in different amounts of time as well. I find that the longer I leave it in, the more it crushes. And I'm going to explain why in a second. But first, let me pull this out and show you that it has crushed. All right, now if you look at it, you can see that it has crushed a little bit. Not a whole lot. There's some spots around here. It's very soft because it's been crushed. So what causes this can to be crushed? When it gets very hot and boils, water is turned into something called water vapor. Have you ever taken a very hot shower or bath and the bathroom turns steamy? Well, when we heat the water in this can, the water turns into a vapor, just like the steam in your bathroom, and it fills up the can and pushes the air out of the can. When I cool the can, it causes the water vapor to also cool. And when water vapor cools, it condenses very quickly, which means that it just gets smaller. When the water vapor gets smaller, there's nothing filling the inside of the can anymore. So when the air pushes on the can from the outside, there's no water vapor on the inside to push back. As a result of the pressure from the air that's outside, the can then crushes. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you learned something. Again, try a lot of different variables and try to get this can as crushed as you possibly can.